today's top stories. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End. The RAF has struck enemy aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia, further German losses are reported around Leningrad. In Asia, the American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes the news summary. We now return you to our music program. London has endured another night of German bombing. Most damage was concentrated in the East End.
Sneaking out, are you? I want me money.
Aerodromes in Le Havre and the Low Countries. In Russia,
they said you was
German losses are reported
Not
around
now,
Leningrad.
you're just old and broke.
The American fortress at Corregidor is still defiant, but Japanese forces are reported nearing the Burmese oil fields. And that concludes.
See here, this isn't about your dedication. Pringle certainly attests to your loyalty. No, your dismissal stems from the Titanic mission. That failure can no longer be ignored, especially now. I am sorry, but someone must shoulder the blame. The service, you understand. We can't be held responsible. The past, forever locked in regret. But what if the past could be changed? "30 years have come and gone since the night that saw the end of a world, my world. The service needed someone on the Titanic. They chose me. I was to wait for a signal from my contact, so I remained in my cabin. I left only once. Georgia was on board. And that's when it came. There'd be no second chance. It was Sunday, April 14th. Too late, you see, for the Titanic, for me. What if I'd met with my contact, prevented disaster, What if the past could be changed? What then?
His Majesty's government has assigned an agent of the Crown to rendezvous with you on board the Titanic. Remain in your cabin until your contact gives you further instructions. After completion of all your assignments on board, book passage to remain on the ship and return to Southampton for your next assignment. For a more in-depth report of the international situation in the spring of 1912, please review the white paper included as part of this briefing. That is all. His Majesty's government has assigned an agent of the Crown to rendezvous with you on board the Titanic. Remain in your cabin until your contact gives you further instructions. After completion of all your assignments on board, book passage to remain on the ship and return to Southampton.
Good evening. I am Smethels, your steward, and, if I may say so, it is good to see you up and about. You've been in your cabin the whole voyage. A touch of the mal de mer, was it? Seasickness can be quite unpleasant, especially if it's one's first crossing. Since you haven't been out of your cabin, may I instruct you on how to get assistance while on board the Titanic? Very good. We of the White Star Line hope that your stay on board Titanic is as relaxing as possible. As you explore the ship, please bear in mind the following advice. The mouse is your hands, the keys your feet. If you find the screen too dark or too bright, follow the directions on the control screen help panel or consult your manual on adjusting your monitor. To find the control panel help and other features, click on the life preserver at the bottom of the screen. The control panel has a help button, as well as a quit and save game feature. You may also adjust the volume. Test the settings by clicking on the black knob. You may also switch the theme music on or off. After making any adjustments, click OK to return to your current game. Wandering the ship, if you notice a hand, it indicates something to click on. May I suggest you do so? Several personal items in your room, a brown satchel, and a pocket watch are quite useful to you during your voyage. Take them with you. You shall want to converse with other passengers. If you fail to understand them, click on their face. They will repeat their last sentence. The purser. His office is on C deck, just off the forward grand stairs. The elevator, or lift as we call it, has an attendant who can direct you to various sections of the lifts are located behind the forward grand staircase. Lastly, you may always find me by returning to your cabin, C-73, and ringing the bell to the right of the door. Your correspondence. 2,200 on board, and they all want messages delivered promptly. Even if it is 1912, and the Titanic, the most advanced means of sea conveyance ever devised, I still have only two hands. 2,200 on board, and they all want messages delivered promptly. Here, a map of the ship for you. Compliments of the White Star Line. I have taken the liberty of indicating your cabin, C-73. Of course, on a Sunday evening at this hour, there won't be many people out. Will there be anything else? The electric camel, an exercise device. They say it is good for the liver. I wouldn't know. It's located in the gymnasium, on the boat deck, on the starboard side. That's the right side, in case you had not been informed. Port. If you're facing towards the front of the ship, the left side is the port side. A young lady. A most insistent young lady. Have you unpacked? You'll find your trunk key in your bag on the bed. If you require additional assistance, please ring the bell by the door. Good night.
Riviera broke me. Damned Frenchman. What do you want? Yeah, it's a night, all right. A regular night to remember.
Good evening. Third Officer Morrow here. I am sorry, but this is the officers' promenade. No passengers allowed. You're the second passenger tonight who's been here. A young woman tried to enter the wireless room earlier. Such cheek. Probably a suffragette. Regulations forbid passengers from entering the wireless room. Now, good night. Sorry, the wireless room's off limits to passengers. No passengers allowed. Sorry, no passengers on the...
Glory be. It's about time. You're late. Another 5 minutes and I'd have cancelled your mission. Yes, I'm Pringle. Penny Pringle. From the Bureau of Secret Service. You didn't think they'd plunk you down on this bucket of bolts and millionaires alone, did you? What a botch-up. Some idiot in the War Office booked me into second, not first class, and I've had a fine time of it, too. The crew wouldn't let me in the first cabin at all. It's just today I located you. Look at this. A German colonel named Zeitel. He's inspecting their embassies in Havana, Washington, and Mexico City. We know better. 10 days ago, the Bureau got word that Zeitel has in his possession a priceless copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, stolen 2 months ago in Paris after its purchase by a very highly placed member of His Majesty's government. The Rubaiyat's a book, a collection of medieval Persian poetry, a passion of his lordship's. Poetry. Persians. The German High Command must think it's important enough to have their top man smuggle the lot on board. It's your job to find out. His lordship's watching this very closely. Very closely indeed. I wouldn't fumble this chance either, unless you fancy spending the rest of your career in some grotty Midlands back office shuffling paper about. Have you seen the report? In your trunk? On the international situation? I'd jolly well read it if I were you. No. He's with a protégé. Name of Heidelitz, I believe. The two spend a great deal of time in the Café Parisien. Nibbling pastries. Get into the wireless room. I don't know or care how. Officer Morrow wouldn't let me in. See if Zeitel's received or sent any telegrams about the Rubai. You've got a cryptograph in your trunk. It'll unscramble the German codes. You use the brains God gave you. Watch people. Listen. When you find the Rubaiyat, Knock on my door. Cabin F, 34. Use the second-class stairs. You should be set. Remember, this is your big chance. Don't fail. Try to intercept Zeitel's telegrams. Get inside the wireless. Surely someone on board knows what he's up to. And don't forget the cryptograph in your trunk. It will unscramble the German codes. Most importantly, find the Rubaiyat.
Sorry, this section's off limits. Passengers aren't allowed on the... Officer Morrow's in no mood to accommodate passengers right now. He's misplaced his binoculars, and he's in a right proper state about it. Off with you now.
You came after all this time. It's Georgia. I'd heard you on board. Where have you been? It's been 5 years. I'd have waited a lot longer to see you again. Why didn't you tell me where you'd gone? Dina hadn't a clue, nor did Jack. My letters were returned. Just like you to show up now, with everything such a beastly mess. You must help me. You've no doubt heard the rumors. I won't deny most of them. I can't. Even if the money's gone, I won't give the diamonds to Charles. These are all that remains. My insurance for a new life without Charles or Saoirse. Saoirse, the owner of the Barbican Gallery? We're friends, of a sort. He's sailing on the Titanic, taking some paintings to New York to sell. Please, I mustn't talk any longer. Take it. Take the necklace. It's my only chance now. Keep it for me. And don't tell Charles you have it. You can't know what he's like.
Come here. Don't you love this sea air? Really clears out the sinuses. Max Seidelman, Philadelphia, PA. Buyer for Haymaker's department store. The Sharpie of Spruce Street, they call me. You a sporting type? You look like the sporting type. Come on down to the smoking room for a nightcap. Riviera's looking for someone to play a few hands of blackjack with him. What do you say? Not much else to do. Not tonight. Brr. Cold as a cast iron commode. So, what do you say? If that's the way you're gonna be, don't bother. Sheesh, just trying to be friendly. Some people. Look, I'm really not... Change your mind? Here you go. An old red. Only brand I smoke. Let's hit the cafe. What do you say? Too bad. I could have introduced you to a man named... Oh well. Another time, perhaps. Good night.
Sorry, the wireless room's off limits to passengers. Yes, very calm. No moon. I don't like that. Can't see what's coming. No moon means surprises, as if we don't have enough already. Mr. Ismay, the White Star Line's president's on board. We're walking eggshells round him, I tell you. Though that's nothing compared to the creeping about my brother-in-law's doing at the... His entire London office is in an uproar. Tom works in the Admiralty. Seems our plans for troop deployments against Germany disappeared 3 weeks ago. Tom says the big boys are petrified the Jerrys will get wind of it. Could upset the balance of power. Politics. Desktop espionage. Bureaucrats. Pah, give me the sea. You can toss the rest. Never have. Not since the war. South Africa. Boer War. The officer was a drinker. He was drunk when they trapped us out on the veldt. On a moonless night. It was a massacre. We never saw them coming. Drink always leads to the devil. An interesting connection. For all I know, it could be true. A man's got his troubles. Sick child, being away from home. But I hate whiners and apologizers. Well, thank you for your insight. Have a look, why don't you? Mind you, Phillips will have my head if he catches you in there, but I don't see any harm. Go on in.
What there? A passenger? I can't regulate the steam for boilers 1 and... So I don't have time for you. You're where you shouldn't be. Get up top, before you're kicked up there. Oh, I doubt it. She's really acting up. See? Still working the bugs out. See for yourself. Have at it. There's a gauge showing the turbine's power out. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Over here. She's still running too rough. What's wrong? Here, take a look at the instruction manual. You might have better luck than me. Right, there's a gauge showing the turbine's power out. The needle's got to move into the green zone. Right smart you were. She's running much smoother now. Say, since you were so interested, go on, have a peek in the engine room. She's quite a sight.
What have we here? The fancy dress ball's upstairs, mate. Ready? Check out the toff. Why, it's the bridge. They want to go even faster. There's a shovel over there, but you don't look the type to sweat. Well, they're a fine sight prettier than your ugly. Better company, too. Bugger off! Up top with you, now!
You are a passenger. Excuse me, I would speak with you. Forgive me, I am sorry to intrude on you, a person of such high station. I am Vlad. I have many. I am leaving my home. I am a Serb and they have killed my wife, my children. The Austrians. For that they will pay. But I do not want to burden you. Please, I need a favor. I have a friend in first class, in cabin A14. Mr. Barbican has a package for me. Can you bring it here? Me? Enter first class like this? No, they would catch Vlad. His name is Barbican, in A14. Tell him you've come from Vlad. He will give you the package. I wait here for your return. Your assistance will be repaid manyfold. You're leaving? Wait. I have been looking for this. Thank you.
Back for more, are you? All right now, let's see what the toffs are made of. Come on, Leadhead. Jerk? That's the best you can do? Jerk? You're just an ugly cur. What? Nobody talks that way about me. Sod off. Right, they're back for a right proper pummeling. All right now, let's see what the toffs are made of. Come on, Leadhead. Jerk? That's the best you can do? Jerk? You're just an ugly cur. And you're a stupid, ugly, drunken cur. Did you say landlubber? Why, you lying, ugly, low-down, bow-legged, yellow, drunken... Who's all right by me? All right, stay if you like, but I can't mind you. Don't mention it. Oh, me? At shift's end, I'm stopping by F59. Her name's Sheila Acker, and she's the prettiest lass on board. She may be a steerage girl, but she's first class by me. Cheers. Can't talk, mate. It's back to work for me.
Yes.
I say, what's your step?
Are you hurt, Henry?
No harm done. No harm.
I'm so sorry.
Trot on my toe.
We're the Goss Joneses from Haltwhistle, you know. How are you finding the crossing? You're English, then? I would have thought American. Oh, my. I didn't mean to insult you.
Can't hold a thought.
Dreadfully large place, America.
Brain like as if...
All that space and all those immigrants trying to fill it up. I was just commenting to Henry, on a White Star crossing one meets all the right people. While we were just chatting with a delightful elderly couple in the reception. The Strausses.
Own a small dry goods store in New York somewhere. Called Macy's.
On D-Day.
Ribena, must you always finish my sentences? You're as jumpy as that American chap, that photographer.
Yes, he was just snapping away.
Taking pictures of some German colonel and that Englishman.
Snap.
War's coming all right, mark my words.
War? How beastly. Will Mr. Burns have to fight? He and his wife, such sweet things. But I do see her point. It is their honeymoon. Why he insists on snapping those photos, I haven't a clue.
For God's sake, woman, talk, like a madam in a Rangoon bawdy house.
Henry, that's unspeakable.
So don't speak, then. Yaps louder than a scrum of rabid corgis. Now see here, this Burns chap.
If you want to see something interesting, take a look at his pictures. He's on C deck, cabin C, 78.
Yes? You found him. Sasha Barbican of Barbican Gallery. Now, what is it that I can help you with? For Vlad? He's on board? Please come in. He did it. I told him not to, told him I'd pay his ticket, but he was too proud. Such a tragedy about his family. They were with my mother's people. Ask Vlad, I don't know. Here, his things. You'll be glad to get them. It's rather late. When Austria took Bosnia, they were killed. Many were. With his family dead, America seems as good a place as any for Vlad. Our history is quite complex. Certainly. Georgia's a woman who does not go unnoticed. Georgia exudes a certain romantic paranoia, a condition, I fear, worsened by Charles' own romance with whiskey. Georgia? Have you talked to her? You be the judge. She's accused me of outrageous deeds, libelous practically. I'm part Slav, you see, a Serbian on my mother's side. Georgia finds such a mixture a source for wild stories. Continuously. One hears there are financial problems. They say Charles owes Andrew Conkling thousands of pounds. Not much anyone can do, I'm afraid. George is in clear need of a rest. Good night, and don't believe what Lady Georgia says. She's not well. Enjoy your voyage.
Thank you. I must see Mr. Barbican. I've bad news. He will not be happy. I am looking for something. Something very important. But it's not here. You have seen a small... It is of no importance. Good night.
Did you get it? Did you find the Rubaiyat? Smashing. What have you learnt? More art? Zeitel's no connoisseur. No, there's something about that painting of interest to the German High Command. I don't have any information about Vlad, but the other fellow, look here. Zeitel's Titanic contact is a London art dealer named Sasha Barbican. They say he smuggles art, and he's not above selling stolen merchandise. The files say he's Serbian, interestingly enough, with links to some shady Balkan groups. Let me see. That's the Rubaiyat, all right. Well done. Leave it with the purser for safekeeping. It shall be undisturbed there. The painting's what Zeitel's really after. You must secure it. Where or how, I don't care. Just find it and bring it back here. Remember, leave the Rubaiyat with the purser for safekeeping. He might also know where the painting's. Sneak a peek at his cargo manifest. That should help you find the painting. Cargo stored somewhere beneath the forecastle deck. Things are thickening up quite nicely, aren't they? We've got to get our hands on that painting. Don't fail.
Thea. Oh, what do you want? Very nice. Security is our first priority. I'll put it in the safe. Why, what do you know? Not that it matters. I'm much too busy. I must get this message through from Mr. Thayer. Mr. Thayer expects his private train car to meet him in New York, and I can't leave my post. But I need to send this telegram. Help? Yes, it might be helpful if you delivered this message to the wireless room for me. Even better, why don't you send it for? Mr. Thayer is a very important man. So send the telegram at once. And when you have, don't forget to tell me. Very good then. Good night.
Good evening. Third Officer Morrow here. I am sorry, but this is the officers' promenade. No passengers allowed. Suit yourself. They went to get coffee. We aren't supposed to allow passengers on the bridge. Good night.
Quick. I've tracked Zeitel and Sasha to the ship's stern. They're having a rather heated conversation. See if you can listen in. I'll track their movements.
A cold night. I think you'd be more comfortable inside, don't you? A cold night.
We've a problem, Zeitel.
Which is?
The Rubaiyat. It was not at your drop point.
You are sure?
Most definitely.
But I put it there myself. What happened?
There's a third party on board. An agent working against you. Against us.
How do you know?
My servant saw them at the drop. They now have the Rubaiyat. This could ruin me, Zeitel, if I were found out.
We should take precautions.
What about the painting? Did your associate bring it up from the cargo hold?
No, I don't have it.
No? But I put it there myself.
Sasha, I've discovered a traitor. Don't look so startled. It is not you.
You mean Heidelitz, your associate?
No longer my associate, I am afraid. Willy was an intellectual, and intellectuals aren't smart enough for espionage. Now, I must recover the painting and its plans. I fear this third party may already have possession of it.
And Heidelitz?
Thank you for asking. Willy will bring no further harm to the fatherland, I assure you. Let us plan.
I knew you'd come. Charles received a telegram from the solicitors. Our estate's to be sold off. He asked about the necklace I gave you. I told him I left it with a purser. Don't say anything to him or Sasha. Not him and his group of... Oh, there's much more to tell you. Can you meet me in my stateroom? I'm in B70. It's Charles' custom to go for a drink in the smoking room. When he does, visit me.
Yes, can I help you? You sent it? Marvellous. I was afraid you'd... Mr. Thayer'll be most grateful. And let them think the purser's not doing his job. I am the purser, and as purser, I am the one who looks after the passengers. Mr. Thayer is vice president of the Pennsylvania Railroad, and it is I who shall inform the Thayers that their train will be waiting. So, if you'll excuse me...
Evening, I'm the lift attendant. And you'll not find one better at taking you where you want to go. Where to? Mind the gate. Did you attend the party last night on D-Deck? Seen the Lady Georgia did? Noticed those diamonds round her neck? A bloke could be set up with those, and her. Pity she's unhappy. Her husband always arguing with her, like just now. Almost there.
It's you. I just developed some new photos. Wait till you see this.
Eric, who's at the door?
There they are, the steel tycoon Conkling with Lord Lambeth discussing business.
Eric!
I've got to go. Goodbye. I've got to go. Bye. I've got to go. Bye.
Does the purser have some keys that can get you into the cargo hold? Does the purser have some keys that can get you into the cargo hold?
Yes, can I help you? Away, go away, I'm too... Mr. Isidore Strauss, he's lost a cufflink, and he's so particular. Thank you. It is a gold cufflink. Mr. Strauss will be very grateful.
Hello, where to? Mind the gate. Up a bit late, aren't you? Just like Mr. Conklin. He's a night owl. Just a little ways more.
Hello there. Didn't I see you earlier? You'll never guess who I saw earlier. The man himself, Isidore Strauss, the owner of Macy's department store, standing right over there. Haymakers is a fine shop, but Macy's, man, that's the big... But just as I was readying myself to make an introduction, he leaves. You seen him? At the foot of the stairs, with his... Let me know if you see him, will you? Haven't seen Mr. Strauss, have you? Yeah, I forgot. You ain't even in the business. Let me know if you see him, will you?
I am Colonel Zeitel, with the German Imperial Army. What brings you out so late on Sunday night? I am looking for something. A misplaced notebook. Ah, it's such a big ship. You have not seen this notebook? How moral. But I see, ethics have not influenced your curiosity. Curiosity. In English it kills the cat, yes? But it can also kill larger things. Stay away from German business. Germany wants land, industries and material, and we will fight to get it. Britain and America will try to stop this, but we will know your plans. And if there's war, Germany will win. But enough politics. This has been such a civilized voyage, so let us meet tomorrow in the cafe, yes? The band? They play Strauss so well. Until then. Auf Wiedersehen.
Yes, can I help you? Wonderful. Mr. Strauss will be quite pleased that I found his cufflink. I shall deliver it at once. I'm just sure his gratitude will be reflected most generously.
But my dear, it's Daisy Cashmore. Surely you remember. You a naughty thing. Don't think I didn't know you'd snuck on at Cherbourg. Smethels told me all about it. The old boy's always dripping with news. Heard about Lord and Lady Lambeth. Ruined utterly. Scarcely enough left for appearances, I'm told. I always liked Georgia. Married Charles for his name and his fortune, sensible girl. But she's made her nest. Now she must live in it. Well, my dear, I've a little favor. A tiny one. Tonight at dinner, a man I don't know was making eyes at me. Be an absolute darling and find out who he is. Look him up in the passenger list. All I know are his initials, GQC. The list's someplace. Find it. I'll wait right here. Ta!
Yes, can I help you? Perhaps. As purser, I'm in charge of the Titanic's passengers. Have you a name? If you do, I can tell you their cabin number. Let me check. Aha, Mr. George Quincy Clifford, A27. Deck games are usually reserved for daylight hours. I live to serve. Very good then. Good night.
Did you get it? Get his name? Clifford. Clifford. Never heard of him. You don't suppose he's rich, do you? You're an angel. And I've news for you, too. While you were gone, Andrew Conkling's been asking for you. Yes, Conkling, the steel bearer. God knows what he's been doing in Europe. Buying it, probably. And where was I? Oh, yes. Andrew Conkling asked me to pass along this. You know his wife Beatrix, the designer. Such an eye! Her clothes preserve the bust line. Couldn't be more flattering. Keeps the eye moving. Much nicer than Worth's. They're friends with Captain Smith. Smith! So handsome, so dashing. White Star's best officer, or was. He's retiring after this voyage. Couldn't be more tragic. My dear, you've blanched. Bad news? Certainly, I must... It's Mrs. Burbank! Consuelo!
Evening. Where to? At your service. From the A-deck promenade, walk forward to the bow. Take the stairs down to forward B-deck. Head forward past the well deck. Your cargo room's located somewhere under the forecastle deck. Now where to? Very good then. Nobody's allowed to... You've got the keys. You're a carter. Of course you can enter. Right this way. Come to visit your new automobile, have you? Can't say I blame you. She's a beauty. Gleaming like a new pen. Right this way. Mind your head, it's dark in there. You'll find your way from here. Don't blame you for seeing after your automobile. Man's got to protect his investment. You're the second passenger tonight who wanted to get in here. A young German gentleman. He came here not long before you. Only he weren't looking at no motor car. He wanted to get a painting. Got it too. Carted it off. Blooming art lovers. Well, good night. It's a right honour to help one of the carters. Don't blame you for seeing after your...
Did you get the painting? Blast. Someone got there before you. If only you'd been faster. That snooty steward Smethels was looking for you. Find and kick him smartly in the shins. Here's a message for you. Did you get the painting? Blast. Someone got there before you. If only you'd been faster. That snooty steward Smethels was looking for you. Find him and kick him smart.
Yes.
There you are. As head of White Star, I say Bruce Ismay should get a medal. I was at his table this afternoon. Food exquisite. It's Mrs. Candy. Helen? My dear, I simply must run. Lovely chatting with you. Goodbye.
Still wondering. This ship holds a strange fascination for you. Most peculiar. I have a message from a young German gentleman by the name of Heidelitz. He would like to meet you in the squash court. They've opened it for him. Highly irregular, I must say, especially for fencing. Surely he is. The percentage of passengers demanding the courts late on a Sunday night is small. Minuscule, actually. Yes, apparently he does not favor racket sports. If memory serves me, there is an entrance to the squash courts on D-Deck. Meanwhile, I shall inform the young German gentleman that you will meet him present.
Did you get the painting? Blast. Someone got there before you. If only you'd been faster. That snooty steward smelled...
Passengers aren't allowed on the Officer Morrow's in no mood.
Sorry, no passengers on the bridge. No passengers allowed. Good night.
Lord Lambeth. I'm traveling with my wife, Lady Lambeth. George has decided to take the air. I opted to take this. My wife, Georgia, she's unwell. She tells some fairly tall tales. Yes, it's not the best situation, I'm afraid. And just one of my trouble. Too many to speak of. With Georgia, how else? 4 years ago at a house party, she enchanted me. We got married and were happy. But Georgia's moods grew volatile. She imagined plots against her everywhere, even with Sasha. Sasha cares more for money than for her. I know that now. Money to Sasha. He's an art dealer. Money is everything to him. But Sasha has his secrets, and I know about them. He's on board, actually, shepherding a collection of paintings to New York. Ever hear of the Black Hand? They're a secret band of Serbian nationalists. Their goal is to fashion a greater Serbia out of various bits of the Balkans. Anyway, Sasha's half Serbian. His gallery's their London meeting place, though I rather doubt Sasha's too involved. Terrorism isn't profitable. Besides, the Atlas Society coverage rarely extends to Sarajevo. But that's a secret. Good night. And if you should speak to my wife, remember, she tells some fairly tall tales.
I don't know you, nor do I want to. Leave me, or I shall summon a steward. Tell me, do you approve of women who smoke? If you want to be a bore, I suggest you travel steerage. Good evening. Tell me, do you approve of women who smoke? I must stop our chat here. I've other concerns. My maid, she's left us. Yes, well, good night.
Good evening, mon ami. Buick Riviera welcomes you to the tables. You look familiar. We make a meeting before? Deauville? The casino at Monaco? New Mexico. I lived there once. In Diamondback. Such a town. So, have we met? C'est vrai. Then we shall use my special cards. Fortune. She favors me. It is in the cards. You like to play again? I have won as you see. Je regrette. Another hand, mon ami? I win. Again? The cards. Bon.
Enter. I wasn't sure you'd come. Andrew Conkling? He's loaned money to Charles. A lot of it, I think. First, I want to know how you fared these last years. Rather well from the looks of you. I'm glad to see you. You're the only person I can trust. Please promise me you'll help. You always were there when I needed you. Now, with my life a horrible mess. When Charles discovered my affair with Saoirse, he was quite calm. But I know him, you see. His revenge is taking the necklace, leaving me with nothing. And Saoirse, I'd never trust him again. Don't you see? They're looking for guns, for bombs. Saoirse's friends. His gallery was their London base. They were rough men, foreign. Saoirse told me they were part of a Balkan aid society. Stupid girl that I was, I believed him. But then I found out. These people, they... Charles!
Please, Georgia, continue. Was it my title or my income you found so desirable? I was never sure. Now that both assets are depleted, why don't you go to Saoirse? Maybe he can help, as he's done before.
Ignore him. I see the smoking room's had its usual effect.
Idle gossip, apparently.
You see his attitude? Please, go.
Since she obviously can't depend on me. Here, take the chill out of the air. Thank you for seeing after my wife. Now I think it best you leave the happy couple, drowning in their happiness. Good night.
Remember, I need your help.
I know how to handle her. Please leave us. Good night. Hello. Georgia? Afraid of me? Well, that would be a reaction at least. We no longer evoke emotion in each other. We're husband and wife in name only. You may have heard I am in financial strait. I've borrowed money from Andrew Conkling, money that he is now demanding I pay back. I've none to give. Poverty should remain the domain of the virtuous. I've no taste for it. To tell you. No, I shall fix things first. And without Georgia. Another drink? Another whiskey for, Hope you don't mind if I do. Now, you, want to know some secrets. Thank you, bartender. I'll tell you one. George's diamond necklace. It's a fake. The one on her neck, leastways. I gave the real necklace to Sasha. It's in his cabin for safekeeping. When he gets to New York, he'll sell it, quickly and quietly, for 20% commission. I'll pay off my debts to Conkling, put Georgia away, sail back to England free and clear. She's unstable, as you know, so I'm placing her in a sanatorium. An easy thing to do, given her emotional history. The law favors the husband in these matters. She can do nothing about it. God forbid the suffragettes really do win women the vote. They'll never know their place again. Because I threatened to tell Scotland Yard about his Serbian Aid Society, and because Sasha's a greedy bastard, he'd betray his love for 20%. And Georgia thinks she's outsmarted. No, she's got a fake about her neck and doesn't know. Another? Good night, then. You'll sleep well. The whiskey and the sea are both smooth for a change.
If you want to be a bore, I suggest you travel steerage. Good evening.
Care for blackjack? You have won. Another hand, mon ami? Bonne chance, mon ami. Good night.
Hello. Just seeing to the electric. The fuse box there. She said you have had no time to check her wiring. Adek's been complaining about the lights all night. We'll get it straightened right out. That is, if I can find my screwdriver. Wager I forgot it. Dawn now. Be right back.
What are you doing in my cabin? You must leave immediately. You need to tend to your own affairs. Fortunately, you've left my valuables undisturbed.
Yes, can I help you? Yes, indeed, all jewels go right in the safe. Glad to be of service. Good night.
I believe Mr. Hadelitz is still at his swashbuckling on the squash court. Perhaps you should visit him. I believe Mr. Hadelitz is...
Hello, where to? I'm the man to ask. Take my lift to D-Deck. Leave me and turn right. You'll see the D-Deck cabins and enter. At the corridor's end, make a left. The first door to your right takes you down to the squash court. Little late for a game, aren't it? Where do you need to go? Mind the gate. It's a cold night, this. Pretty much everyone's early to bed. Makes me job that much easier. Your deck now.
Thank you for coming. I do not meet so many people on the Titanic. It is a pity. I like the English. I wish I knew more of them. Now you have the opportunity of fencing with me. 3-time champion of my university. You are also an excellent athlete, yes? Colonel Seidel believes it so. The Colonel is very seldom confused about anything. You will play. If you win, perhaps, I relate to you some stories. En garde. Allez. Sehr gut. Allons. Ach, verdammt. Allons-y. Et là. Allez. Ah. Allez. Ah, verdammt. Allons-y. Ah, verdammt. You are a great athlete. The Titanic, how quickly she is moving. The engines are loud here. We are nearing the Grand Banks. The Vikings thought this part of the North Atlantic cursed. Even modern sailors call it the Devil's Hole, a place of deadly surprise. Things aren't always what they seem, yes? Like me, for example. I am German, but I am also a friend to others. Perhaps even the English. Another match? Afterwards we can tell more tales. Another match? En garde. Allez, touchez. Allons. Touché. Allez. Ah. Allez. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Et là. You are the loser. How unfortunate. You do? Remember, only one thing is certain, and the rest is lies. It is a quote from an old book I had the recent opportunity to read. But I tell you more. I am associate professor at the University of Vienna. I document the mythos, the legends of mankind. I'm on my way to New Mexico to study the Yoni Indians under Dr. van der Plaars. I am interested in what Dr. Freud calls the unconscious mind, what happens below the surface of experience. Tell me, what frightens you more, fire or ice? The ancient Aryans believed man would see 4 ages. According to them, this is now the Wolf Age, an age that ends with ice. Perhaps we of science might learn from it. They say the ice is heavy in the Labrador Current this year. Why do you assume he is interested in paintings? Yes, art. That is what I meant. And you are mistaken. Colonel Seidel cares little for art, unlike his friend Herr Barbicon. I notice he likes old Vienna, for he has many pictures of the city. If the fire comes, my friends will favor the English over Germany. Another match? En garde. Allez. Allons-y. Et là. Allons-y. Allez. Allons. Et là. Allez. Et là. Allons. Touché. Allons. Allons. Ah, verdammt. You fence well? Take this in friendship. May it bring you luck. A thing I fear we shall all need. But if anything should happen to me, I trust you will know what to do. Very good. You have proven yourself. And I must confide in Colonel Seidel suspects I value my friends more than Germany. He's right. Another match? Let us meet later. I will tell you more. For now, keep the ring. I bid you good.
What did our young Mr. Hadelitz want? Hadelitz's ring. Maybe Trask can tell you more about it. I'll see if I can dig something up on him. Their partnership appears to be dissolving. Who else knows young Hadelitz? Talk to anyone who may have seen him. Finally, you're on the right trail. Follow those leads.
I say, how are you getting on?
Getting on? We use gangplanks, if I remember.
Quick as a cow, she is. Seen Guggenheim about?
Such a gentleman, extremely attentive to the...
Especially his mistress. They say he stashed her on board somewhere.
Really, Henry? Not Mr. Guggenheim?
The Titanic's not a damned rectory, you know.
But Henry...
Quite the randy old goat from what I hear.
My goodness, I've forgotten completely. I have a message for you. Mr. Trask in D2 said you were to meet him where honor and glory crown time. Where honor and glory crown time? What do you think he meant? Good night.
You seen Hadelitz's gal, Clarice Limehouse? She must have a cabin on D-deck, near reception. And could I receive her in a New York minute? Willie's girl's got some class to her. Mainline all the way. Yeah, well, if you see her, tell her she's wasting her time spooning with that crazy Kraut kid. Me, Max, the styling Spruce Street Sharpie. I'd take care of her. Like a princess. A regular princess. Tell her, would you? Good night. Hadelitz's gal? The blonde? Somewhere's on D-deck. Willie came by here. Good night.
Yes? You want something? It's Willie's ring. Willie, what's happened? Something bad, hasn't it? Something to Willie. He told me if I ever received this ring, I was to know that whoever gave it to me was a friend, and to tell them about the notebook, that they should find it. Willie's hidden a notebook on board, that's all I know. Now what about Willie? Is he hurt? Oh, he told me jokes. Bad ones, but he made me laugh. Not like Mama's friends. Mama, she doesn't like Germans, unless they've a title to their name. But I like Willie. A lot. May I have it? The ring? Thank you. I'll never forget this. Willie's in trouble. Please help him if you can. Please. I can't speak. I'm too upset about Willie. Good night.
Quickly, there's not much time. Willie Hadelitz is dead, electrocuted in the Turkish bath. I heard one of the officers talking about this may not have been an accident. Apparently, someone wants that painting badly enough to kill for it. Do you have it? Not doing so well, are you? Someone must have taken the painting before you got there. Young Hadelitz, a Tsarist spy? It's beginning to become clear. Quite possibly. We need more information about the murder. A notebook. Zeitel's previous mission was aiding a band of Russian revolutionaries called Bolsheviks who want to overthrow the Tsar. The Germans would like nothing better than to see chaos in Russia. I'll bet that notebook's got names of Russian radicals. Such a list would be very important to the Okhrana, the Russian secret police. With it, they'd root out the Bolshevik ringleaders and eliminate a threat to the Tsar, which would certainly help the rest of us. If Hadelitz was murdered, you'll need protection. Here, this pen releases a single burst of knockout gas when opened. Find that notebook. It could be vitally important. Go investigate the situation at the Turkish bath. Move.
Hello, I'm Conkling. Good of you to come. I trust you're finding the accommodation satisfactory? You're welcome. White Star's anxious for everyone to be as comfortable as possible, particularly on the maiden voyage. Sorry to seem mysterious. You must understand someone in my position, an investor in this ship, needs discretion. You're under no obligation, of course. I have a slight problem. You may be able to help. A servant has stolen an important business document from me, and I must recover it. A few years ago, my wife Beatrix hired a young Irish girl as maid in our London house. We treated her well. 2 weeks ago, she up and left without notice, taking a certain letter with her. I'd given up all hope of recovering it, until my wife spotted her this morning on the third-class promenade. Needless to say, I checked with the purser. She'd been scheduled to sail on the Philadelphia. But those passengers were transferred on board the Titanic because of a coal strike. Yes, you could say so. I'd prefer to employ the services of a third party. You. Government officials, friends of mine, told me a bureau agent was on board. I found you through Mrs. Cashmore, a preposterous woman. But she does have an eye for accomplishment. Look, will you help me? You will be rewarded handsomely. Her name is Shayla Hacker. She's 20 or thereabouts. I was her benefactor, one might say. Yes. This puts me in a difficult situation. This young woman, she could cause considerable damage to me, to my reputation if she goes to the newspapers. Confidential business matters. Conkling Steel provides steel for ships. This ship, for example. If the contents of the letter were publicized, our competitors would profit greatly. I've gotten word to her to meet on the poop deck. Go in my place. Tell her there'll be no trouble if she returns the letter. Afterwards, report to me in our suite, B59. Her name is Shayla Hacker. Good night.
What did I tell you, Shay? I knew he'd not come in person.
Hush, Jack, hush. Conklin, he did send you, didn't he?
I told you, it's a trick. I knew Conklin wouldn't come. He sent one of his cronies instead. I'm her brother, and Conklin. Because of him, Shayla's had to leave everything and everyone she knows.
Jack, no.
That son of a bitch. She was his maid and all the time violating it.
Hush, Jack. I'll have no more of it. Go on, Jack, say it.
You tell Conklin we have his letter, and he'll not be seeing it till he coughs up a tidy sum, too. 5,000, do you hear? Dollars. Enough to get her started right. And if he moves a hand against us, I'll make sure the newspapers get the letter and print it. So tell Conklin. 5,000. Measured against what he has, it's a bloody bargain.
Meet us here again. At 1 tonight.
$5,000, then he'll get his damn letter. Agreed?
It's your only chance. We'll be waiting for you.
fancy meeting you.
Snooping about the decks again? What fun.
Oh, Henry, snooping. Really? Such dreadful taste.
Reminds me of that chap Burns, that photographer who took pictures of the ship.
You should look him up. He's on sea deck. He has such a lovely wife, too.
I say it's late. Must goodbye.
Yoo-hoo! Did you hear? J.P. Morgan, he owns the White Star Line. He was to be on board. At the last moment, he took the cure in France instead. Why do you suppose? Has the ship sprung a leak? I'll scare myself to death. Everyone knows the Titanic's unsinkable. Why, it's the Harrises. You know, the Broadway producer. My dear, I simply must run. Lovely chatting with you. Goodbye.
Come in. I'd hoped to meet you earlier. However, my wife and I were calling on the Astors. Madeline's pregnant. Beatrix was thrilled. We have no children. I see. It's a ransom. May I present Mrs. Conkling?
You should pitch the ungrateful girl overboard. Your clothes, French cut. Quite fetching. I forgot to tell you when we first met.
Beatrix is on her way to California. She's got a new project in... Where is it, dear?
A cow town, someplace called Los Angeles. I'm doing up a little resort there. It's called the Beverly Hills Hotel. So, where is the Irish tart? Dreaming of her newfound riches?
We were just talking about that, darling.
My husband and myself extended every courtesy, showed every kindness to Shayla. We've no children. Shayla became quite dear to us. So her theft hurt us all the more for the trust we placed in her. Don't fail us. Now, excuse me. I must retire. I have a frightful headache. It was a pleasure. Good night. Andrew?
My wife felt strongly about Shayla. As I've told you, we've no children of our own. Look, you must get that letter. Don't wait until tomorrow. See if you can speak to Shayla directly, without her brother. She's in the third-class cabins forward, on F deck, number 59. Good night. I'll speak to you tomorrow.
One of the stewards told me that
What have you heard? Anything? Tell me. You knew him? Look. Don't breathe a word to anyone. This was just a simple accident. Ismay's going to raise hell when he hears. And I thought this would be an easy trip. Talk to Smethers, his steward. Say the man came down here after using the squash courts. Yes, yes, but be careful what you send. We don't need any scandals. Be my guest. Mind you, it's not pretty. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Most regrettable. Most regrettable indeed. The young German gentleman, dead. in the electric bath. Quite unanticipated. He was alive, most vocally too, just a few hours before, arguing with someone on B deck. The gentleman's voice was unfamiliar. About a painting. He'd misplaced it. And the other gentleman wanted to know where it was. Yes, I believe Dr. O'Loughlin is waiting to move him, so as not to alarm the other passengers. It is, I must warn you, a most unpleasant sight. Very good. This is most irregular. Most irregular indeed.
Christ almighty wonder! You has a face ache, ain't you? Rooming the ship, poking your nose into everyone's business. Just who do you take me for now? One of those la-di-da millionaires up top? Jack Hacker keeps his word, honors his promises. When I saw you coming, I says to myself, they'll be wanting to know about him. The foreign gentleman, German I suspect, a remedy nervous type he was too. Give me a bob and told me to tell whoever asked to repeat a phrase word for word. You want to hear it now? But still the vine her ancient ruby yields, and still a garden by the water blows. Yeah, that's it. Here, he wrote it down. But still the vine her ancient ruby yields, and still a garden by the water blows. What's it mean anyway? Some rich man's game you play? You can have it. Just tell Conklin we want the money tonight. Old Jack, he's got his shift to worry about. Cheers.
Please leave me.
Don't mind if I do. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, I always say. Gave a pack of these to the German kid early tonight. He's an odd one.
While we was docked in Queenstown, I saw him on top of one of the smokestacks.
The last one. Right at the top. Who knows what he was up to? Looked like he was hiding something. Crazy crowd kid.
Well done. Listen, I've discovered the only way into the smokestack. Through the engine room. Find that notebook. Helping the Tsar will help us too.
Oh, she's still running rough. You're so clever last time, you care to have a go again? No, is it? Then you can't putt. Not while I got my engine troubles. Oh, she's still running rough. Right. Cheers, mate.
You have interfered in my affairs for the last time. You are the one who stole the ruby yacht. Prepare to die at the hands of Serbia.
I think that notebook is for me. Please. I know exactly who you are. The agents have our secrets, yes? Thank you for finding it. Willie would have appreciated your effort. Cold, isn't it? I've maintained climate is the crucible of civilization. Culture blooms in the temperate.
It is the tropic and Arctic zones which breed barbarism. Russia, for instance. In that notebook are names of anti-Tsarist Russians, revolutionaries living in exile. Germany supports these men. They are called communists. We provide assistance, small courtesies, and, wherever possible, financial encouragement. One of these men is moving to Krakow soon. Charming city, Krakow. We urge Willy to befriend such types in Vienna. He kept a list of such men for us, or so I thought. He was a Russian agent who was going to turn those names over to the Okhrana, the Russian Secret Service. Dave would kill them. Secretly, of course, but kill them just the same. Think. With the revolutionaries all dead, the Tsar would be secure on his throne. That should not be allowed. Not when there are wars to be planned for. Now then, the notebook. An iceberg. They've run into an iceberg. The idiots! I will be taking that notebook now. What?
You see, my friend, we will all meet the devil, eventually.
That's a nasty bump. You'll live. But for how long is the question? We've struck an iceberg. The incompetents, the idiots! That was an hour ago. The captain's called women and children to the boat. It's serious. She's sinking by the bow. She's got about an hour left, maybe a little more. The Rubaiyat. And a fine time I had getting it back from the purser. It's safer with you. And the painting. You have to find it. We need to get those plans. Here's your necklace from the purser. The Serbian Vlad. He must have the notebook. The notebook lists the names of Russian radicals. The Germans actively encourage Lenin and other revolutionaries. You must recover that notebook. This information is vitally important to our Russian ally. I know you're hurt, but the Titanic's sinking. It's not going to be easy. The lifts have been shut down for good. We must get the evidence off the ship before it goes. So, up we go. Now get cracking.
If you've come to get me to leave, I'm not leaving Willie. I want to stay near him on the ship. We met here in the lounge the first night out. He introduced himself. Willie was so kind. Not like Mama's friends. They just want our money. I'm staying with him. We went for a walk that night on deck. There were so many stars, just like tonight. I told him, you can't see the stars in New York. The lights burn too bright. I told him to go to Central Park. I was going to take him to the park to show him the stars. Here, take this shawl. I don't need it. If you get to New York, visit the park. That's where you see stars. That's where I wanted to take Willie. Goodbye.
I wondered when you'd rematerialize. We're in a bit of a spot, don't you think? Me? My lord, no, I'm too old and too fat for small boats. Besides, after spending my corporeal career communing with the beyond, I'm not too worried about joining it now. Visit Mr. Riviera. He's playing for some very high stakes. Very high. I'm heading somewhere far more interesting. Let those who would stay save themselves. But what's still unknown is what you will do. Don't you see? You've changed the past. You've had that chance. What you do now will change the future. Don't fail. Incredible. The Rubaiyat, the one stolen in Paris. It is coveted. And bloodshed surrounds it. This book will bring sorrow to the world. The Lambeth necklace. It will come in handy before the night is over. I suggest a hand of cards with Mr. Riviera. Hurry! You've changed the past. Now, change the future. Hurry!
You are proving surprisingly hardy, so perhaps you'll honor one more request. The evening's last, it would seem. A wise decision. You could save a life. The Lady Georgia's, of course. I've poisoned her. If you decide against helping me, she will die. But if you cooperate, the antidote for her. Why, there goes Mr. Ismay. He's abandoning ship. Not just the women and children. The president of the line gets a seat too. So, will you help? Good. Listen closely. The painting. The one Willie hid from me. Find it. I wait here. Bring me the painting. You shall get the antidote. Willie was always expounding his ideas. Sadly, he neglected to share his last. Look for it. If you refuse, the Lady Georgia will die. Are we clear? Good. I despise miscommunication. Find the painting.
The water's on E-deck. Get up top.
Stand back! Ladies and gentlemen, maintain order. Women and children board first.
Prepare to swing out! Lifeboat away, sir!
A pity about the Titanic. She's going to sink, you know. I have it from Andrews. The poor fellow is in a state of shock. He is giving her about another hour at best. Make yourself comfortable. The bomb on the sofa will take care of everything else. What remains will go down with the ship, with, it appears, most of our fellow passengers. You think so? Excuse me, will you? I have an appointment to keep. Goodbye.
Don't push. Keep your hands well inside the boats.
No one's allowed on the bridge.
I say, old bean.
Yes, do get in. We so enjoy the company.
Hoist a leg, old bean. In you go.
Tell them we did our best. Tell them...
Vlad left the sinking ship without the rubaiyat, nor did he have the real Lambeth diamonds. The Black Hand never got its funds, money intended to finance a wave of terrorism across the Balkans. One of the intended targets, the heir to the Austrian throne, Archduke Franz Ferdinand. His murder might have started a war. We were lucky. We got peace instead. As for the painting, it went down with the ship. Fortunately, Shayla and the baby survived. I never retrieved Willie's notebook. The Germans' support of the Russian revolutionaries continued. Meanwhile, the rest of Europe and America enjoyed a prosperous peace. What did we gain? Complacency. In 1927, Adolf Hitler toppled the Kaiser and channeled the power of German science and industry into weapons production. The democracies, lulled by decades of uninterrupted affluence, ignored him. The Germans have had a 6-year lead in the race to unlock the secrets of nuclear fission. Now that the World War has begun, I wonder if the question is not whether Hitler will use his atomic weapons, but when. If only the past could be changed.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you. And check the description of this video to see what song is playing right now.